Hi, and welcome to Meet the Candidates 2014, a voter education program brought to you by the Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau. Our goal in providing these candidate interviews and profiles is to arm the voters with the information necessary to make informed and educated decisions in this year's election. Please visit shakopee.org to find out all of the information you need to know about upcoming candidate debates, as well as polling locations and times. Welcome to Meet the Candidates 2014, a voter education program brought to you by the Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau. My name is Angie Whitcomb, and today I am joined by Debbie Barber, a candidate for the Scott County Commissioner for District 3. Debbie, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate you being here. Why don't you start by telling the viewers at home a little bit about yourself and your background?
Absolutely. My name is Deb Barber, and I actually grew up in northern Minnesota. I ended up moving out to Montana to go to college and grad school, and there I got a master's degree in Montana State University in engineering mechanics. Out west, I met my husband Chip, who we married in 1991, moved back to Minnesota, and which has always been my home, so moved back here, and we settled in Shakopee 14 years ago. Since we've been living in town here, we have had a family, raising our children. I have two boys, Jack, who is 9, and Caden, who is 11, and since then gotten very active in the community. To me, it's been important to actually engage the community and be involved and to make this place our home. So here I've started a business. In fact, I've started two. I started my first business when I was 30 years old, a medical device consulting company. I expanded that by collaborating with a couple of other women executives to create the company that I have now, which is Canopy Medical. It's a medical device consulting firm as well. We are celebrating our 10-year anniversary this year, which is fabulous. What we do there is we work with medical device companies all around the world, and we work to develop medical products and help them get through the regulatory process to get them approved and out to market. What I do there myself is I specialize in project management and strategic planning. So I help these companies come with their ideas and actually make it something that gets out and sold.
Great.
And then, as I said, we've truly made Shakopee our home. To me, part of that was getting involved in the community. Because of the kind of work that I do and the style of business that I have, I'm able to have the freedom of time and the ability to contribute back to the community. I've done that at the school, the city, and the county level. Like most moms, I think I started at the schools where I was getting involved in PTO and in volunteering in the school. Eventually there I also took a leadership role and got involved in the PTO board where I became treasurer and now serve on the guiding coalition for the school district. I also got involved in two areas that were particularly important to me, and that had to do with health and human services and economic development. With that at the county, I chaired the Health and Human Services Resource Council for multiple terms, and I also served on a community health advisory board. As I said, being a business leader and a business owner, economic development is extremely important to me. And so on that, I serve on the board for the First Stop Shop, which is the economic development group for Scott County. And I also am vice chair of the Shakopee Economic Development Advisory Board. So I want to now take all of that experience, both my business background and my community involvement, and take the next step to take a broader role to help our community. And I would like to do that by serving as the Scott County Commissioner for District 3.
Great. Well, welcome today, Deb. In your view, what is the most pressing issue facing Scott County? And if elected, how will you work to remedy that?
I honestly think that the biggest issue facing Scott County is the need to have a continuation of the economic development gains that we've had in the last few years. Having businesses helps us all. If you have businesses in town, you support the local economy, there are jobs for people here. You also are broadening your tax base, which is very important to individual property owners. To me, that is the key for our continued growth and for us to continue to be leaders within the state. And doing that, I think it's important to be proactive and show that we are very open for business. Now, with that, in any kind of business relationship, you look at the positives and the negatives. There are things that we need to do as well that could become potential issues. And these are things related to transportation and transit. And we need to be proactive looking at those. Because if we don't, I fear that we may have a potential risk of losing some of the momentum that we have right now.
Okay. So What, if you can, could you give me 3 examples of things you would do to either promote or enhance the business community, the health of the business community here in Scott County?
The first thing that I would do, and I think it's very, very important for me, is to make sure that the First Stop Shop continues to be funded. Right now it's funded through SCALE itself, but it's a cooperative effort between SCALE and the Scott County CDA. I think it is a very unique program. What the First Stop Shop does is it is a central location for information and resources for the different cities and communities throughout Scott County. Not everyone is as fortunate as Shakopee to have an economic development director or an extremely active chamber. And so the First Stop Shop gives all the cities a chance to access resources and information and get the tools to continue the expansion of economic development. I look at some of the work that we've done and when talking with business leaders and developers, and the First Stop Shop is truly unique. It does set us apart. And one forum I was at recently, it was a developer who came up and said, this is why we do business here. So it is important to continue that and to make sure that it gets funding in the future.
Great.
Also, the next thing I would say would be access to information for businesses. So one of the things the First Stop Shop has done is gone out and done a series of workshops that involve cities, representatives from cities, and also representatives of businesses. Getting these groups together, what do you need, so the businesses understand the government roles, the government understands the business roles. And the key thing that's coming out of that, not only just from a customer service perspective of being responsive and being engaged, which is something we definitely need from the county as well as the cities, but also access to information. Some developers do this all the time, but many businesses, when they come in or looking at relocating or expanding, it will be the one time that they will do this. And it's challenging to get information or to know who to talk to. So there are tools and ways, whether it's through the First Stop Shop or through the county, to be able to do that. The website is challenging to navigate. It's hard to find information. Who do you really go talk to? Do you go talk to the CDA? Do you talk to the First Stop Shop? I think if some of that is communicated more clearly, that businesses will see that. And that is so important because that first impression will really dictate everything going forward. So I think that is very critical. The third thing for businesses that I think that is extremely important has to do with transportation funding. As I mentioned, as a business owner, you look at the benefits and the risks. You have to look at the risks as well. Now, transportation funding will be an issue going forward. Here in Scott County, over the last few years, we've cut the transportation funding already in half. No levy dollars are designated for transit at all. And some of the creative funding resources that Scott County staff has used in the past are no longer open to us. And so we're going to have to look very critically at what projects need to get done, especially as we look at expanding businesses. Because if you look at a business, they need to move products and goods, and they need to move people. Just an example of a place that is an issue is if you look at the interchange of 169 and 21. Backs up every day. We've had great improvements along the 169 corridor, but that's an issue. It's not completely a Scott County issue because it involves MnDOT as well. But part of the role of a Scott County commissioner is to go out and advocate on behalf of your community, because not everybody will know that that is a critical place. But that really does affect both the people and the businesses. And so it is something we have to be more active and aggressive with in the future.
Great. Well, thank you. So if somebody were considering moving their business or their family to Scott County, what would you tell them makes this the ideal location?
Well, I can say I moved both. I moved my family and my business here, so I found something I liked about it. It's a great community. I think that we are so blessed to have this place that's both a small town but also close to the city. We've great resources. We've got great towns, great parks, these things that make a place where you want to live. From the business perspective, you look at we're one of the most educated counties. We have people who have unbelievable work ethic. And when you're looking at locating businesses, you not only want a building, you not only want a space, you want to know that you have the right people in the right community. And I think that we are above and beyond the place to be.
Great. One final question for you. Tell the voters what makes you the best candidate.
I believe that I'm the best candidate for this because I bring a totally different perspective to the board. I think that bringing my business background and my community involvement really makes me an exceptional candidate. It's a different view on things. And I look back over the last 10 years and we've had great growth and great progress, but somebody with a new vision can help bring us to that next step and continue the growth. I think that my ability to collaborate, which is what I do every day in my business. We take all these various entities and try and pull them together to get something done. That's what I'm good at. And I think that's really the kind of person and role that we need on the Scott County Board. And I think that that would make me an exceptional representative. I think I'm not tied to any personal politics. I'm not tied to anything. I'm goal driven. I want to see things get done, and I want to see things done in the best interest of the citizens.
Well, thank you for your time today, Debbie. And thank you at home. Please check out the Chamber website at shakopee.org for all of the latest information on upcoming candidate forums, as well as polling locations and times.